right, good morning. It is truly a pleasure to host you today. My name is Heidi Mercer, and I'm the superintendent of Lake Orion Community Schools. This is our new Lake Orion Community Schools administrative building. So welcome. Yes, we are just adjusting. We love it. Thank you. We just moved in at the end of December, so still getting used to everything, but we are loving the updated space, so welcome. On behalf of our school district, I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for the vital role you play in supporting our local economy and community. Strong schools and a strong business community go hand in hand. The success of our students today directly impacts the strength of our workforce tomorrow. When we work together, educators, business leaders, families, and community partners, we create meaningful opportunities for students to explore career pathways, develop real-world skills, and envision bright futures right here in our community. I am grateful for the partnerships we have built and for the many ways our local businesses support internships, mentorships, career exploration programs, and classroom initiatives. Your investment in education is an investment in the long-term vitality of our region. We look forward to continuing collaborative, innovative, and ensure that our students graduate prepared, confident, and ready to contribute to the workforce and civic life. Thank you for your leadership, your partnership, and your commitment to our community's future. Welcome. Have a great day today.
Thank you, Heidi. We really appreciate everything that you do for our students and for the community. So, I am Joyce Donaldson, President and CEO of this fine chamber. Super excited to be here. I remember 4 years ago, about this time, it was my first big event, and it's so heartwarming to be back here in this beautiful new building, welcoming our chamber members. So, thank you. And again, thank you for graciously hosting us today, Heidi and her staff. They've been nothing other than stellar, and we really, really, really appreciate it. I also want to thank our breakfast sponsors. Today we have our presenting sponsor, Genesis Credit Union. I'd also like to thank Tim Hortons for the beautiful carbs and coffee back there. There is some fruit and yogurt thrown in there for those that want to eat a little healthier this morning. And our beautiful flora and fauna sponsor, Redwood Apartments. I also would like to do a big shout out for Heidi from the Orion Art Center for making these beautiful pottery vases for us this morning. Thank you. I want to just really express our deep gratitude for our media sponsors, ONTV for helping set up for the cool video that you're going to see a little bit later in the presentation, and for all the support and coverage of our 30 ribbon cuttings that we had last year. Joe, Ian, they're all here for us at every step of the way, so thank you, ONTV. I also want to thank the Lake Orion Review. We worked really closely with them last year, as you will see, for our 75th edition of our commemorative membership directory, and I really want to thank you for all of your hard work. And again, they are at all of our chamber events every step of the way, covering it, and I know that a lot of our growth is contributed to both ONTV and the Lake Orion Review because they are exposing all the great things that the chamber and our members are doing. So thank you, and let's give them a big round of applause. As they say, it takes a village, and to create this beautiful event this morning, I just want to do a special thanks to these folks: Kevin Brimmer, Orion Signs and Graphic; Matt Franco, Wow One Painting; Jimmy Johnson, Graphic Takeover; Mandy Kramer, Trail Forge Marketing; Lake Orion Community Schools; Holly Nicosia, Orion Art Center; Orion Neighborhood Television; Kurt Piper, Burton Landscape Consultants; and Lisa Trudell, Flagstar Bank. Also, to our beautiful senior volunteers in the back, Sharon Campbell and Judy Pope. One of them happens to be related to me. My sister is in the red, but I couldn't do without her. She did the table arrangements, the floral arrangements, and for the second year in a row, she's helped set up the food for us. Again, it does take a village. They're all, at here bright and early to get us all set up. So let's give everybody a big round of applause. At this point, I'd like to bring up Teresa Doan. She is the Director of Social Responsibility from Genesis Credit Union. Teresa also happens to be our board chair. You're going to hear a little bit more when she puts her board chair hat on later. But come on up, Teresa, and tell us about Genesis.
I know you were all sitting here thinking, oh, I hope Genesis gets to speak. We can talk about finances. So if any of you have heard me speak in the past, you know that there's one question that I always ask, but I'm not asking yet. So now you have to pay attention to what I'm saying so you can find out, what, if you don't know, what is the question and when am I going to ask. So I will tell you just a little bit about Genesis Credit Union. We are the 4th largest credit union in Michigan, and we are actually in the top 100 across the nation, which there's roughly about 7,000 credit unions across the nation. So if you're living in Lake Orion, working in Lake Orion, we're living as a vacation, you're asking, okay, Teresa, why do we care? What does that mean to us in Lake Orion? So we chose Lake Orion as a community that we wanted to be involved in, and we very much look at the local branch as that's the only branch that matters in this community, and how can we help you as business owners or as residents, or how can we help your employees just have a better life. And interestingly enough, I was on our website yesterday, and right as I opened the website, there was a video that popped up. It's fun if you want to go check it out on the website. But the video was financing fun. And it was, jet skis and people with RVs. And I thought, oh, that's exactly what Lake Orion is all about. Like financing, maybe you don't want to finance it, but financing fun. We're available there if you need us. And the last piece that I want to mention is that the heart of who Genesis Credit Union is really our community involvement. Very passionate about who needs help, how can we be involved, how do we make Lake Orion better for everyone, how do we make this an area where people want to be here. So thank you for coming, and proud to sponsor the event. Oh, I didn't ask you the question. Okay, so how many of you belong to a credit union? Yeah, so anyone that doesn't, find the person that raised their hand and ask them why they do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Again, we couldn't do without all of our financial supporters, and thank you, Genesis, for being a President Circle member as well as one of our top supporters. This year, we had an exciting year. So at this annual meeting, this is one time a year that I get to kind of brag about what the Chamber has done in the past. We aren't going to focus so much on the past today, though. We are focusing on the future, but I just want to share some highlights. It's only like 20 pages of highlights, so just bear with me here. But looking back, to put it all in a nutshell, we celebrated 75 years of community impact. Last year was a huge year celebrating our 75th anniversary, and boy, did we have a blast. This year I'm trying to figure out how to creatively create so much buzz for the Chamber and our community as we did last year. We had so much fun. We hosted 110 events to connect our members and local leaders, 30 ribbon cuttings celebrating new beginnings, and 73 new members that we welcomed into our Chamber. I want to again thank our President Circle members. They're listed here and up here. If you are interested in President Circle, these are our top investors. Please see me. Rising cost always, we're a chamber, we're a nonprofit, 501c6, so we can always use any additional support that you might feel inclined to give us. But thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Also want to give a shout out to our 2025 Board of Directors. Our officers include Teresa Doan, Genesis Credit Union, Steve Wandry, Union Home Mortgage, Janice Zales, Zale Group Wealth Management, Secretary Tanya Hamilton, North Oakland Community Coalition, and our immediate past chair, Angela Del Pulp, Henry Ford Rochester Hospital. Our directors included Jimmy Johnson, Graphic Takeover, Chase McMunn, Orion Township Public Library, Kurt Piper, Burton Landscape Consulting, and Aaron Watley. I also want to it's always so hard for me, just mention Jennifer Whitaker from DTE Energy. She was on our board and she passed away suddenly last year. So we do have a new representative from DTE Energy, and you will meet her in just a little bit. But we do want to give some special accolades. Aaron couldn't be with us today, but he turned off our board after 6 years. A few fun pictures. If you knew Aaron, he wouldn't want to come up here and speak. He's super funny though, and he's a great speaker, but we found these nice photos of him. So Aaron is in our hearts today. Thank you, Aaron. Our ambassadors, and when I call your name, if you would please stand up. At each table, I've placed a table host, so you have either a board member or a chamber ambassador. A few tables might have both. But our ambassadors are just, they are out there working. They are at every ribbon cutting. They're the ones that went and picked up the coffee this morning, that lugged in the water. I mean, they're just so amazing, at my beck and call whenever I need them. So I want them to stand up, and I want to give them a big round of applause. So Krista Andrews, Practically Perfect Vacations, in the back there with Krista. Matt Franca, I think he's here. Wow One Painting, Oakland County. Yay, he was here early and then came back. Thank you, Matt. Jennifer Kangater, Michigan United Credit Union. Dawn Neely, who is in transition right now. She's actually moving next month. So Dawn Neely was with Seniors Helping Seniors. Thank you, Dawn. She was actually our Ambassador of the Year last year, too. So we will greatly miss her. Thank you, Dawn. Shauna Durshell Patel from Dort Financial Credit Union. Lisa Trudell, Flagstar Bank. And I want to thank Lisa for making that last-minute run to Costco yesterday for me, so thank you so much. And Sean Woodruff, Dort Financial Credit Union. Thank you so much. Membership, this is always so fun. It's always fun to see the new growth, steady growth, new business, solid retention, good, healthy rate. The typical standard of retention is 78 to 86%, and we're at 83%, so we're strong, and we're right where we should be. Of course, I would always like to see that retention rate go up. We get them in one door, and some of them leave out the other door. So that net gain every year is slow going, but 83% is really admirable, and I want to thank and congratulate our 345 members, which are all of you. So let's give us a big round of applause for all of you. 73 new members last year. We hit our top number of new members. We topped it by 1 last year, and that was on New Year's Eve, and I'm forever thankful for that gentleman that I called back on New Year's Eve, and he joined, and he topped us over to 73. If you are a new member, would you please stand up so we can recognize you? So a new member in 2025. That is impressive. These 73 new businesses represent 73 new perspectives on things and 73 new sets of hands to help build our community. So thank you for joining us, and we welcome you. I always find this one super interesting, our member industries. We break this out by category, and it really helps us with our programming, like, what programming we might want to pay special attention to. And you can see medical, dental, nursing care, health, and chiropractors. Health and wellness industry is a huge industry here in Orion that is growing by leaps and bounds. And I should say, so much so that we started a new health and wellness peer-to-peer network this past year, and we held 2 meetings. And I want to thank Jen Todd is in the audience for heading up from Breakthrough Partners, for heading up that group. I know Jen's here somewhere. So that's kind of cool. And then we also have our trades and builders peer-to-peer network. Many of you in the audience are in that trades, builders, and suppliers. And we created these networks because these are our top 2 industries, right? So we want to do a little something extra where they can get together, they can get to know each other so that they can refer each other. So we really see that growing trend in the chamber and in the community of health and wellness, trades, and builders. You'll also see churches and community organizations, which are nonprofits, such as the Rotary, the Lions Club, things like that. Those fall into that category. And then another big category, of course, is insurance, financial investment service banks, credit unions, and mortgage banking. Seeing a huge growth in that this past year as well. So super interesting. And then we say, who are our members? I always love this one as well. Lake Orion, 62.9% of our members come from Lake Orion. But the other 11.3% come from Oxford, and as you can see, Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills, Clarkston, Troy. And then there is that other category, which we have businesses in Macomb County, Lapeer County, that are all chamber members. And when people ask me, when they start business, like, which chamber should I join? Like, where do I go? Which chamber should I join? I always recommend join the chamber in which you are located in first, and then join the chamber in which you want to do business in. So if you want to grow your business, so as you can see with all the new members and the growth in membership itself, they want to do business here in Lake Orion, even if their businesses aren't physically located here. So I always think that's a really good one, especially if you're doing analytics or anything for your business. These are great stats to have. Oh, in 2025, we had 110 events, programs, ribbon cuttings, and meetings. You can see up here, we kind of just broke it out about, what types of things that we did. Of course, the 30 ribbon cuttings kept us busy every Thursday. I had one legislative office that said to me, what am I going to do next Thursday? There's no ribbon cutting. Thursday night is my ribbon cutting date night, So we really were busy almost every Thursday, and it's off to a strong start this year as well. Lots of new businesses. We also had 24 committee meetings. That includes board meetings, ambassador meetings, our peer-to-peer, leadership meetings. There's all kinds of meetings that we have all the time. So you wonder sometimes, like, if I'm not available, I'm in a meeting. And that's just chamber-focused meetings. It's not all the other meetings, but just chamber-focused meetings, traditionally by the leadership teams. 22 structured networking group, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later in the program, but this is super interesting because our chamber networking groups, we have 2 of them. They meet each month. And there's about 15 to 20 members in each group. And like I said, I'll talk about that a little bit more later. We had 14 networking mixers, our after hours mixers, and our bagels and brew morning mixers. Those are turning out to be hugely successful. Our next one is at Rebecca's the first Tuesday of March. So please join us. We're getting anywhere, the last one I think we had at Messy Designs, like 45, 50 people there in the morning. And it always amazes me. Everybody's so like peppy and energetic, and it's just a great atmosphere. So if you want to come as a new member, or if you haven't been to an event in a while, you will just feel the love in the room at the morning mixers. I just love it. And then in the evening mixers, actually I just scheduled one with Mosheri Companies. We'll be out on the lake again this summer for a beautiful mixer. And those, those are when you get to have a few cocktails. We just had one at Michigan by the Bottle, accompanied with the ribbon cutting a week ago, last Thursday, and it was great. Again, we're having huge turnouts at these events. I always say we have 345 members, but we have 345 enthused and energetic members, and that to me is really important. We could have 345 members and they're sitting in their office, but they are coming out and networking, and this is all good for all of us. Let's keep up the energy. And now we're going to show you a little video thanks to ONTV. Thank you for doing this. So sit back, and we don't have popcorn, but enjoy your coffee and carbs. Orion! All right. Wonderful. Congratulations. One, two, three, adventure! Wonderful. If you had a ribbon cutting this past year, please stand up so we can again warmly welcome you. So we love ribbon cuttings. It's an opportunity for all the members in our community. They're always open to the public to come out and celebrate new business. And I have to say, between the ambassadors, board members, and our members, this year the support that these small businesses are feeling is just incredible. So thank you all for helping helping them feel warm and welcome. And I know, and you're going to hear a little bit about this later, but they really, really appreciate it. We also really appreciate all of the support from our legislative representatives, and I just want to do a little shout out right now to the ledge reps that are in the room, our dignitaries. They are at almost every ribbon cutting, presenting certificates of recognition and saying a few words about the businesses, and it means so much to the businesses, so thank you. And I'll just start with Akash Kaluri from Senator Alyssa Slotkin's office is in the back there. Thank you for coming today and supporting. John Novak Jr. from Congresswoman Lisa McClain's office. Alec Hughes from Senator Gary Peters' office. We have Donnie Steele herself, our state representative, is here. Orion Township Supervisor Chris Barnett. Lake Orion Village Council President Teresa Rutt, please stand. Debbie Burgess, the DDA Board Chair. And Matt Gibb, the DDA Executive Director, and Janet, they're always there, thank you. And Elena Campbell, DDA member at large. So thank you all for coming out. And again, those certificates mean so much. And then I just wanted to once again congratulate our Impact Award winners. If you were an Impact Award winner, please stand up. You'll see them all here. This is a big deal. Several of them are here. I love that. Thank you all for contributing to our community. We have a great big gala at the end of each year in December celebrating Orion's finest, so thank you. Just a few Facebook stats real quick. We have a huge reach on Facebook. That is our main platform. So if you don't already follow us, please do so. Top 2 Facebook posts, both of those folks are in the room today. Jason from Oat Soda. We did a unique tying of the ribbon. They sadly closed their doors here in downtown Lake Orion. But Jason has landed in a great new spot with 2 of our other members as operations managers. So Jason, you want to stand up? Just give Jason a big round of applause. So when I posted those pictures that night, it went viral. And I know you reposted it, and it just went crazy. So you know how much Oat Soda was loved, and we miss you. But we know that you're right around the corner with Waterside Social and Wine Social. Didn't move far. And also our Small Business of the Year, Sharon Bosley, Bitter Tom's Distillery. I don't know if it was Sharon or her husband that went viral, but big postings, lots of interest, so thank you. Next up, this year, as I said, we celebrated our 75th anniversary, which was big for us. We did a lot, and we're super proud of everything that we were able to accomplish. Brought a lot of attention thanks to our media. We just had such a great fun. We had a legacy committee, went through tons and tons of archives, and it was interesting. We also came up with that great historical timeline, which is found in the directory on your chair and also was featured in the newspaper. Big shout out to the Lake Orion Review for helping us go through those archives, because there was a lot. We had a lot of boxes. Elena Campbell, Don Neely, Bill Kokanis, a bunch of the old timers that had been in the chamber for a while. I know, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean that. But they've been in the chamber for a long time, and we painstakingly went through all those pictures and articles to come up with a really comprehensive timeline of all the impact that the chamber has made over the past 75 years. A few more pictures of that big celebration. Again, we published a new 75th edition of our membership directory. A couple copies are on your table if you want to take a look at it, but you also will be getting either in the mail, or we have your membership packets that you'll be getting on your way out, and I'll talk a little bit more about that after. But in each of those directories, all of our members are listed twice, a full listing and then an alphabetical listing. So these are going in the new resident welcome bag, so hopefully it brings you business, but it's a beautifully done publication, and we're super happy that we had such a robust amount of folks that wanted to advertise in that. So thank you to our 42 advertisers. That was awesome. It was very unexpected, and it was awesome. Again, these are distributed in our new resident welcome bags, and I always want to mention this because if you are a business and you want to reach new customers, between the township, apartment complexes, homeowner associations, realtors, and churches, we gave out about 475 of these last year. So members bring their promotional items, menus, toothbrushes, I mean, you name it. We have a lot of stuff in those bags. These days are really, really plump, and they're very robust. And so if you have anything you want to bring in, see me or see the girls up here, and we can arrange for you to bring those in. Our next pack will probably be this week. Our points of pride, this was so long, I had to try to condense it, but I just want to mention a couple of the big things that I feel and our board feels that were really big accomplishments this year. We developed a new mission and vision statement, really looking at our chamber, who are we, what are our goals, and really trying to plan for the future. So we came up with a new mission statement, a new vision statement, and then also we amended our chamber bylaws. This is huge. For any nonprofit organization, you will know how huge. I think we went from 17 pages to like 30 pages of bylaws, and those are our governing documents. So it was a big deal, took up a lot of time. They're done, and just in time, you know, 75 years later, they're in really good shape. Again, we secured the 73 new members. We increased our new President Circle members to add DeHaan Orthodontics, Gwen Doppenmeyer, Keller Williams Collaborative, and McLaren Oakland. Thank you so much for supporting us. And then I wanted to mention our chamber networking groups. We do have these solid, kind of like a BNI, I don't want to say that out loud, but BNI, chamber networking groups. We have two groups. They meet the first Wednesday of the month at G's Pizzeria. And I want to give a shout out to Steve Abbott and Sarah Boudreau. Will you stand up and let folks know that you are leading those groups and you are doing a stellar job, and thank you. They lead the one at G's Pizza. Jennifer Kangater and Matt Franca lead the second one at ONTV, right in the studio. So stand up and let's see your beautiful faces. It is a lot of work. It's wonderful because it's like an extension of our staff. They do the agenda. They reach out to the folks that are in that group. It is industry specific, so there's only one industry in each group. If you are interested and to see if there's an opening in one of those groups, please see either one of those leaders that I just mentioned. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It is a lot of work, a lot of hand-holding, and I really, really, really appreciate it. And again, we talked about celebrating our 75th anniversary. I went through a lot of that. One of the things I think I'm really most proud of was that we were able to bring together 120, and I call them local legends. They're not all local legends, but some of the past board members, Dr. Master Mateo, Joanne Van Tassel. It was amazing to be able to work with these folks, Carl Sorowski, that really started the chamber on this trajectory that we are on today. And so a lot of research with them, and it was really, really heartfelt. And I learned so much, I felt like a historian. I think Cassandra Presser from the Lake Orion Review did too, because we were working, almost 24 hours a day to put this publication and just to create this big event that we had. Also, we put in a 75th anniversary insert into the Lake Orion Review, so that was delivered to 17,000 residents. All of our members were listed in that. All these things that we created last year, is going into a big time capsule, so that in 25 years, when they open that time capsule, they'll have all that research already done, and it'll all be in a nice, neat package for them. I probably won't be here in 25 years, so I wanted to leave them in really good shape. At this time, we have a member testimonial. And I would like to bring up Tanya Rainier. She is the proud owner and CEO, lead designer of Adamo Construction Design. And some of you may have been at her ribbon cutting this past year. It was amazing. And she wrote me the most beautiful thank you note, kind of summarizing what it meant to her. And I'd like her to come up and give her testimonial today.
Thank you, Joyce. Hello, everybody. I'm Tanya, if we haven't met yet. I have been a chamber member for about a year now. And when I walked into the office for the first time to sign up, I was greeted by Jillian. And her she was immediately warm and welcoming, and of course her accent, like how do you not fall in love with that, right? So it was a good first impression right out of the gate. But a couple of weeks later, she brought Joyce down to my studio to say hello and introduce me. And I was a little bit self-conscious because we were in the middle of the build-out. It was an absolute mess. I was a mess. Like I don't even think I had clothes on that were matching. And I was like, oh, but instead of feeling judged and, kind of, my perfectionism would have gotten the best of me, but they were so kind and so nice. And instead of judging, they oohed and they ahed and they complimented, and they proceeded to keep coming. And every time bringing somebody new. And I remember thinking, wow, these women are really into design. Like, this is so cool, But looking back, I realized that really it wasn't about what was really happening in the studio. It was about wanting to make sure that I felt like I belonged, like I was a part of this community. They wanted to make sure that I was meeting people that were part of the chamber and part of the community, and introducing or letting me know about the events that were coming up. One of them being the trade and supplier, I'm going to get this wrong. It's a long name, the supplier mixer, which I attended. It was hosted by Sharon at Bitter Tom's, and it was an amazing event. I met so many wonderful people who are already turning into fruitful business relationships. So I'm so grateful to have that mixer as part of this chamber experience, because I will definitely continue to go, and I encourage everybody who is part of the trades or in that industry to definitely do so. And of course, Joyce she's nothing if not persistent. So she, encouraged the ribbon cutting. I pushed back because of course I wanted to be perfectly ready and feel like it was time, and she gently encouraged me to just do it anyway. And I am glad she did, because it was an incredible event. The turnout was amazing. It was amazing in every way, but what really stood out to me that day was the feeling that I got. Just the amount of encouragement and support for a new business owner, and the way that I felt like I instantly belonged. It was the welcome, it was the sense of community, and that wouldn't have been possible without the people involved at the chamber and the DDA. So shout out to the DDA for everything that you guys do. You put your heart and soul into downtown events and bringing people in, and there's a lot of towns that anybody could go hang out at around here, but they choose Lake Orion because they want to feel like they're home. They feel like they belong here. And again, it's that community. So, while I've only been here a year, one thing I've learned is that this organization is more about, it's not just networking and business growth. It really, really is about people and about feeling seen and making sure everybody feels supported and encouraged to do the hard things, even when they don't think that they're ready. And so I want to thank everybody in this room for making me feel welcome. And I know we could probably make a drinking game out of how many times I've just said community and welcome. But that is honestly, if I had to pick two words to describe the people in this room and the way these organizations work, that would be it. So thank you to everybody for making little old me feel like I belong here. And thank you to the chamber, to all of its members, and the DDA for making Lake Orion a place that we want to build a business in.
Great, thank you. Thank you. I thought she is so articulate, and I thought she's the perfect person to give a testimonial about how our general membership, I think, and especially those new members, I'm hopeful that we feel warm and welcoming. And we certainly, I will mention, miss Jillian's presence. We miss that accent. She is still on her answering machine, and she will forever remain on her answering machine. So if you're needing a Jillian fix, you can call, and maybe that's why we're getting so many hang-up calls right now. Maybe they're just calling to hear Jillian's voice. So we're going to move forward now. A lot of history, but we are energetic and geeked for this next year. And so I'd like to bring up our chamber board chairwoman. She's going to put on a different hat now. Teresa Doan, Genesis Credit Union.
Yeah, and I know you were all thinking, ooh, hope Teresa gets to speak again. So now I am the chair of the board. So again, I'm really going to stay with the same theme as what I talked about as Genesis. It's really about how do we have fun, because this is where living is a vacation. So, and how does this really impact you? So, you know, same story. This is what the chamber's doing, but what does that actually mean to you? So I want to talk just a little bit about where we're going for 2026. We had quite a few new people that are going to be joining the board. So whenever you have that kind of change, it really is kind of a pivotal point in the organization. What is that going to be like? What happens when you lose those relationships that you had, and now you have the new relationships coming in? And I really could not be more excited for what's coming with this new board. We have got such great people that are joining the board that it's really going to be, it'll be a very, very interesting year to see how far the chamber grows. And even, you know, with what Joyce has already talked about, it's grown so far in 2025. 2026 is just another level of opportunity. The ambassadors, you saw them all in the ribbon cuttings. They show up, they are like the strength of the community, and they're always there. They're every event that you go to, you will always be. Even today when I walked in, I think there were 3 of them that greeted me as I walked in. So they're always there, always smiling, always wanting to know how can they help you with what your business is doing. And then I do want to talk about the events. How to decide what events are you going to go to. I mean, ideally, we want you to come to all of them, right? But you all have real jobs, you all have businesses that you're running, you all have employees that you care about. So how do you do both? And so I really encourage you to look at the list of events that are coming up or that are even taking place throughout the year, and find your place. You know, where do you want to go and who do you want to meet? And I'm going to use like an extreme situation, so don't think this is going to happen to you every time you go to an event. But I go to events everywhere. So we have 32 branches. We are involved in every community. I am part of every chamber you could possibly name. Orion's my favorite. And meeting people. I love it because it's part of who I am. People fascinate me, so I always want to know more about whatever you're telling me. But I was at an event, and my part of being at Genesis has nothing to do with finance. I don't do math. They don't tell me the rates. I don't have any part of that. I know the strengths of Genesis, and I know the products that really are kind of our bread and butter. But when it comes to asking me a CD rate, I'm not your guy. So I actually met someone at an event that said, oh, I need to be doing business with you. I need CDs. I need to be doing business with you. And so all I needed to do was get him to the right people, and he opened 2 7-figure CDs. So you never know. I mean, the only reason I'm sharing that story, because like I'm saying, I am never going to have that happen again in my entire life. The only reason I'm sharing that with you is because you never know who's in the room. You never know what the conversation is going to lead to. And you just got to come out and find out. Like, meet the people and just see where the conversation takes you. So thanks for being here. I stay, right?
Also this year, we have 7 new members so far. You'll see them up there. We're super excited about that. The trajectory for this year with 7 new members in 40 days is really great, and we're super, I feel super confident that we're going to help, or we're going to exceed the 73 new members this year. And with the strength, like I said, of our board of directors, kind of being more the visionaries, like Teresa said, the ambassadors, they're out there. The board sit in the boardroom and they are, visualize like what, where can we go? What can we do? So with that, this year, it is new, but we are going to bring them up, and our supervisor, Chris Barnett, is going to give an official oath of office. So if you're a board member, would you please come up, and I will announce your name and just come up. Not all of them are here today. They had some extenuating circumstances in which they couldn't be here, but we have Teresa Doan, Steve Wandry, Union Home Mortgage, please come up. Secretary Tanya Hamilton, North Oakland Community Coalition, please come up. Sharon Bosley, our new board member, Bitter Tom's Distillery, please come up. Jimmy Johnson, longstanding board member, please come up. New board member Gary Newman, Great Lakes Crossing. Kurt Piper, Verdant Landscaping Consulting LLC. John Urbanek, General Motors Orion Assembly. Liz Vogel, DTE Energy. And Chase McMunn, Orion Township Public Library. And with that, wipe your hand off, because our supervisor is going to give you the official oath of office. Thank you, Chris.
I'm nervous about the wipe your hand off part of that. But do whatever you guys want to do. All right. First, thank you for being willing to serve our amazing, growing business community. I'm going to ask you all to please raise your right hands. And after each of these statements, if you agree, you will say, I do. Have you ever done this before? Said I do? All right. Anybody regret? Never mind. I promise that I will faithfully, impartially, and to the best of my judgment and understanding, execute and perform my duties as a board of director. I do. Good work, guys. Do you solemnly swear to act as a representative of the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce in a dignified and upstanding manner? I do. Do you solemnly swear to accept the responsibilities of your office and do your very best as an Orion Area Chamber of Commerce board member? I do. And finally, do you solemnly swear to have the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce and its members' best interest at heart at all times? I do. Let me be the first to congratulate you and thank you for serving our business community.
Great. Well, thank you again. Again, this is your new leadership team. We did, when we redid the bylaws, we are now trying to evenly represent our business sector. So you'll see everybody here is in a different business sector that can bring their own time, talent, and treasures to the chamber so that we can grow. So again, thank you so much. Now we go to the portion of our program in which we're going to have some of our local elected officials and dignitaries speak and give you updates on what's going on in our community. So first up is Teresa Rutt, Lake Orion Village Council President. Come on up, Teresa.
I brought props. But this table, this stand is huge, it's massive, so I'm gonna have to step over here in a moment. So I'm Teresa Rutt, the Village Council President for Lake Orion, and I grew up in a small town. Total square area is 1.2 square miles. Lake Orion, the village, 1.3 square miles. Back in the 1800s, the village I grew up in was actually bigger than Lake Orion. And then in about 1910, the village of Lake Orion began to have exponential growth. And today, the village of Lake Orion is double the size of my hometown back in West Michigan. But why does that matter? Why am I bringing up my small hometown? Well, it's because in a small town, everything matters. Every road resurfacing project, every sidewalk, every storefront, every park bench, everything matters in a small town. And the actions that we take today shape not just the 3,000 residents of Lake Orion, but it shapes the area, the 40,000 residents of Orion Township and beyond. And it shapes the people who pass through the community, who stop, who eat, who shop, and decide whether to stay for an evening or for a lifetime. So my task today is to give you an update on the village of Lake Orion, improvements, development, parks, more, and to be honest, that sounds really, really boring. You don't really want to sit here and have me list off numbers and financial figures and facts and things like that. That sounds really dry. You could just open the Orion Review. We have great partners with the Orion Review, or log on to our website. But my task is my task. I have to give you some updates, so I'm going to try to do it in a way that captures your attention for the next few minutes. So I've brought some things to help me tell the story of updates. How many of you ever had one of these growing up? This is mine from my hometown. We have become more politically correct in my hometown since then. But this is my varsity jacket. And when I think about things like roads and sidewalks, they don't sound very exciting until you think about who's using them. So as a high school cross-country and track athlete, and later at college, sidewalks were a lifeline for me. They allowed me to complete my training in a safe way. I could run for miles on safety paths and sidewalks. And I think about our young people in our community, whether they're babies in strollers being pushed by their moms who are just excited to be out of the house or invest in their own mental sanity or fitness. I think about our young students who are walking to school. I think about our athletes who are out on the sidewalks training for their sports or walking to go to work at one of our local businesses. I think about visitors who are going to explore our community and seniors who want to navigate safely and stay active in their later years. So this coming year, the Village of Lake Orion will undertake 2 road and sidewalk programs. We'll be completing phase 2 of 3 of our sidewalk improvement program. So the sidewalk south of Glen Street, east of M24 will be improved, missing sidewalk gaps, broken sidewalks, they'll be replaced and improved. And then a road project. So on the west side of M24, north of Greens Park, south of Indianwood, we're going to be resurfacing and rebuilding the roads in that community, in that neighborhood. So that includes the North Shore, Axford, Andrews, Grove, Clare, Lake, Beebe, and parts of Shadbolt and Flint Street. Now, if you don't live in that neighborhood, you might not experience a lot of disruption. If you live or visit people in that neighborhood, you'll experience a lot of disruption, and you'll see construction equipment coming and going. But it signals an important investment in the infrastructure in our community, supporting property values, improving safety. All right, I've got another jacket for you. Does anybody know what this jacket is?
FFA.
Is anybody here, was anybody part of FFA?
Me.
Yes! This is my FFA jacket. So for some of you, this may be entirely unfamiliar. So FFA used to be known as the Future Farmers of America. This jacket to me represents leadership. It's where I learned parliamentary procedure as I did competitions in middle school and high school that gives me the confidence to run village meetings. It's where I gained confidence in public speaking as I competed in extemporaneous public speaking competitions. It's where I learned environmental quality analyzation skills. And it's where I learned that leadership can be challenging. But to be a leader, sometimes you have to make hard decisions. Side note, if Lake Orion Community Schools had an FFA program, I'd stop homeschooling my kids, whoever is in here from the schools. But one of those hard and necessary projects was embarking on a massive sewer lift station project. So sewer lift stations, they're not exciting. Most of you don't even know they exist. But they cost about $10 million in our community of 3,000 people. It's necessary to protect our environment, our lake, our Paint Creek, our residents' homes. It's necessary, and it comes at a cost to every resident and every business who has a water hookup in the village of Lake Orion. This summer, we'll take on the next phase of this sewer project. And when it's complete, it'll be the complete replacement of 16 different lift stations and forced mains. Costly, but necessary. We face criticism. We understand the impact to family bills, budgets, and the outrage is understandable when it doesn't feel like it has a tangible daily effect on your life. But we need to remember that infrastructure is invisible when it works, and it's unforgettable when it doesn't. And so this investment in infrastructure is important. We want to keep this infrastructure invisible to the daily lives of our residents. And the future of Lake Orion is built in partnership with the local government, with community members and residents who choose to stay even when it's challenging, with businesses who still choose to invest, and by leaders who choose long-term over easy. Got another jacket. See, holds your attention a little bit. Got this one. This is the mom uniform right here. You know? So I'm going to shift into more fun and visible infrastructure improvements. So how many of you have ever spent some time downtown Lake Orion on a spring or summer evening or during the day? Okay, had me worried there for a moment. I want you to picture downtown Lake Orion on a spring or summer evening. Kids are playing, families are strolling through town, they're grabbing an ice cream cone, they're shopping, they're listening to the sound of music float from the gazebo. Public spaces in our communities are not extras. They're not an afterthought, they're not an unimportant piece of infrastructure. They're community gathering spaces, they're anchors for families and friends, places where core memories are made. So this mom uniform represents the mothers who take their kids downtown, pushing their strollers, pushing kids on a swing, having brunch, going shopping, spending our dollars in town. And this year, we'll be making some park improvements. So at Atwater Park, we'll be redoing the basketball court, providing a space for our teens and our tweens to go and recreate, to gather, and to have fun. We'll also be improving and replacing the bridge that goes into Children's Park from the parking lot. While it's safe and functional, we can all agree that it's deteriorating and it's just flat out ugly. We like beautiful spaces in our community. And what child doesn't like to look over the railing of the bridge and watch for the fish in the river? But most parents want their kids to be able to do that without ripping their clothing on bent pieces of fencing. I doubt my child is the only one who has lost a clothing battle against that fence. So we're making improvements in our recreation spaces. One more jacket. The business look. The one that points to our business community and the residents who choose to come back to Lake Orion every day after their commute. We're a town of 3,000, we sit in a township of 40,000, and that matters because we are a stop, we are a hub, we are an experience, a community gathering space, and we don't compete with the rest of the region, but we enhance the rest of the region by making it a place that people want to come to and be a part of. Strong businesses need strong foundations. Are there inconveniences as we make improvements, as we invest in infrastructure? Yes, but progress is rarely tidy. And as I think back to my hometown that we started with, a town of 1,400 residents, I think about how there's so much potential there. As I look at tired and old buildings, a middle school that has closed, and I think about Lake Orion and how we are tapping into the potential that we have in Lake Orion. We aren't just fixing roads and sidewalks, we're strengthening connectivity and walkability. We aren't just updating parks, we're cultivating belonging for people. We're not just supporting businesses, and Matt will talk a little bit more about that, but we're shaping the next chapter of our town. And we see that it's working. We have historic levels of development, investment in housing and in businesses, and business occupancy in the village is extremely high. Together, we're forming what 3,000 residents and 40,000 neighbors experience when they step onto our sidewalks, and I believe that the best is yet ahead for the village of Lake Orion. Thank you.
Teresa, how did you know I love props? Thank you so much. And I just want to mention, look out at this beautiful scenery that we have. Chamber weather has now approached us and the sun is out, so life couldn't be better. And Matt Gibb, the DDA Executive Director, is here to tell us how life is going to get better in the village with all of the improvements and the barn project, and it's really exciting. Matt's got some great stuff to share. Matt.
Good morning, everyone. Whenever I think that I've done this work for too long, Teresa Rutt speaks, and I'm like, I'm in. I'm ready to keep going. Well, another round of applause for our village president. As you'll hear later, I never say that about Chris anymore, but he equally is doing phenomenal, and I'm most excited to hear from Mr. Bonnick from the GM plant. You know, Tanya, okay, I had this whole thing about, you know, the engineering's tough and permitting is tough and getting signs is tough, and then Tanya spoke about what this is all about, which is community, and it completely flip-flopped me. And Janet Bloom, who I work with at the DDA, will tell you that's a daily occurrence for me, but it's super exciting. So in some brief remarks following up Teresa's great presentation of what's happening in the core of our community, and I'm sure others will talk about the largesse, and Chris will talk about Chick-fil-A, which seems to be the most important thing in this town. I can't figure that out. But the DDA is working really to supplement what you've heard already, which is we're this great sense of community. You know, the DDA sometimes is like, what do you even do? We're about to be recognized for the 19th consecutive year as a national accredited program for the National Main Street Organization. If I bid by show of hands, a couple of you would raise your hand. I can see you out there. You know what that is, but most of you don't know what that is. The national program for Main Street, by being accredited in that program, means that we're doing things that are building community in the right way. We're not doing things in argument, and we're not doing things in conflict, and we're not doing things in distress, and who's doing what right and who's doing what wrong, and you know, how fast is Paul building those beautiful apartments, and you know, how much sponsorship we're not doing that as a Main Street program. The DDA is focusing on its 4 core points, and being accredited means that we have this immense strength in economic vitality. We know how to answer the questions, we know how to bring about vibrancy within a community, and I'm so grateful that, you know, some of us would say the DDA is important, and it is, because we reinvest not just the revenue that's generated by the prosperity of the community, but we reinvest in all of you, and we get great joy out of it. So economic vitality is a huge part of it. Design is a huge part of it. One of the things that we'll be working on, picking up on what the village is doing, and these are big projects that they're taking on. Those that came before us have done great things in this community. We're in this building right now. I love this building. It's great. I bet you didn't know that the dirt underneath the building used to belong to the enterprise fund of the Water and Sewer Division of Orion Township. Why did they own the dirt? You probably don't care, except if you put kids through that elementary school next door, you do care. Because the schools don't build the elementary school unless the township, through its water and sewer fund, strikes a deal, and the schools and the township create an agreement, and the schools builds the beautiful elementary that's next door to us, right? The history of how we all intertwine with each other. And then comes along a few other people in the community, and they say, well, wait a minute, the senior center is failing in downtown Lake Orion, and it's going to be $2 million to rebuild the old church. How do we fix that? Well, as Teresa said, we take on big projects. They came to the offices of the township, and we said, well, hey, the water and sewer department needs a new garage down at Civic Center Park. What if we use township resources to build you a garage if you give us the dirt that the schools gave you, that we can then build a new senior center? And then lo and behold, Chris sells it back to the schools in a full circle moment and builds this beautiful recreation center on Baldwin Road. And then somebody else long ago stood out there, and I remember being on the front page of the Oakland Press forcing the hand of the road commission, and now he gets a Chick-fil-A. It's this beautiful circle of community. And so your DDA downtown is doing the same. 15 years ago, we built a beautiful streetscaping project in downtown. Suzanne Perot is just a phenomenal leader. We put brick pavers in and beautiful lighting and signage and all those things. Well, what happens after 15 years? Have you seen my house lately? Yeah, it falls apart a little bit. So you're going to see the DDA really focusing its resources. That's design. We have a whole committee under our Main Street program that focuses on how do we create the most welcoming place? How do we reinvest the dollars that we're entrusted with? Not just to be this, oh, the DDA takes some money and throws parties. No, we're reinvesting. So you'll see us reinvesting in streetscape. You'll see us reinvesting in design and aspects of it. We've got this great committee called Promotion. What is promotion? Well, if you came to Ice Fest, it was 18 below zero. Chris's team cheated. Chris's team won the ice golf competition. You say, well, why is the DDA involved with that? Well, because the DDA reinvests into a sense of vibrancy that wants to have people downtown, want to have people in the stores. And the last one, from a committee perspective, is really the whole aspect is organization. Our organization committee created a new thing called the Illuminators. You'll see yellow hats and shirts that have sunshines on them, and you're like, what on God's earth is that? It's a passionate group of people that are just tired of the negative discourse in our town. They're tired of everything that's so successful, and yet there's this underlying churn of, oh, geez, what are they doing? And they're not good enough, and who are they? And they must be on the take. And a great group of passionate volunteers said, well, yeah, we're just going to shine the light that's good on everything that we do, and it's so easy. It's so easy in this town to do that. And so we're going to be accredited again for our 19th year. So what am I excited about downtown? I am excited that Clover and Creek is going to open where Oat Soda is, but I'm more excited, it was alluded this morning, that Jason and Jennifer didn't leave us. Jennifer's on to a new business venture. Jason's still running his mouth off, but at a new place. I'm very excited about that. I'm really excited that Ariel and Andrea at Messy Design are up over 40 local artists that are exhibiting all this unbelievable craftsmanship that we have in our community, and they don't charge them any rent to be there. I mean, you can imagine a business model where you just invite people in and say, hey, bring your talent here and showcase yourself and show off and be proud of what you're doing and don't worry about the tab. We'll all work that out in the end. And I'm so excited about where their business is going. I'm so excited that Bean to Go, the ownership of that is transferred over to the daughters. I'm also so excited that Messy Design, or Twice Blessed, Christy is finally fully retired. I love Christy that started Twice Blessed in our community, God, years ago. She was one of the anchors that came to our town 20 years ago. And shout out from the back, it's now the new ownership there. It's just taking on that legacy. I'm most excited about what's happening in our community. I don't drink anymore. God love us for that. I'm sure some of you that know me are like, thank God for that. But Michigan by the Bottle is now open. It's a beautiful new asset to our downtown community. Waterside Social is finally through the aspect. Their vibrancy of what they're going to do outside in the coming spring is going to be awesome. I pick on Mosheri a lot. The product that they're building and developing in our community is that transition of who we're becoming. And the DDA is excited for it all. And so what are we doing last is the lumberyard. Everybody's like, well, what's going to happen? I love that Joyce calls it the barn project. Every time I see her, how's your barn coming? I'm like, yeah, it's a barn. That's for sure. The lumberyard is a great anchor. It's an identity of who we are as a community. For those that don't know where it is, just move, just leave. We all know where it is. The 5 acres that represent the south end of our downtown started, if you're at the Historical Society, we gave out volunteer awards at a Light Up Lake Orion event in January and honored Sharon Kay, I can't pronounce her last name, Konechny, right? Is that how you say it, Jimmy? She's the president of the Orion Historical Society. I was able to give a presentation. It forced me to do some research about the lumberyard. So the lumberyard's not a lumberyard, it's a coal yard. It started with easements from the Michigan Central Rail. Who's familiar with Michigan Central? Have you been to the big building in Detroit? It's Michigan Central. Where did Michigan Central get its bones? By running coal and lumber and other material routes up into Bay City and beyond. All of that came through Lake Orion. We turned into this massive party town because we were one. We had hotels on the lake and an amusement park on an island and double-decker steamships, and that piece of property on the south end was where all the coal came to power it, where all the home heating oil came, and eventually all the lumber came to build the cottages on our lake. We're well into it. If you haven't seen it, what are we doing? The DDA is doing a historic preservation of our identity. We have a new transformational strategy for the DDA. To be accredited as a national program for 19 years puts us really in the top probably 5% of all programs in the country. You all do that. All the vibrancy and the investment that you do is from you. It's not from us. Janet and I are just guideposts for this. We always say if you have a strategy about community sustainability and long-term development, be who you are. So who are we? We're a resort town, man. We are. I love the fact that Michigan by the Bottle is opening. We're a resort town. I love the fact that Sharon's the business of the year at Bitter Times. I love that. We're a resort town. I love the fact that Annalise just hangs on and she's got this beautiful boutique downtown. I just love that. We're a resort town where you buy cool things and you hang out and you do things. So the lumberyard is going to be where we hang out. 6,000 square foot barn is going to be a public market. We're well on our way to that. You're going to see that get completely enclosed in the spring. We're only waiting because we couldn't pour concrete in November. As the developers know, the frost came early in this town. You're going to see that as a beautiful public market. We're already listing up the vendors. There's going to be honey vendors and tea shops, and there's going to be farmers market vendors, but there's also people lining up that want to be vendors and things like moonshine festivals and different things that we will bring as a different dynamic to who we are. It's our transformational strategy for Main Street. Be who we are. Be a lakeshore economy. Drive those types of uses that we all want to hang out at. What else are we doing? The trailhead that's happening in the north corner is really coming along. If you're out there and you walk the trail and you see that barn building, that's it. That supply shed was built in 1910, and we have fixed it up and are turning it into a trailhead. But who's adding on to that? We Bean Coffee's bringing their coffee. We've got donut suppliers that will be out there. We've got craft beer people that are coming to site. You're going to be able to hang out at the lumberyard in a way that's really dynamic. The last thing I'll say is this: is everybody's like, well, what else is coming? You can't just afford to pay for it. We have an Italian bakery that's signed up that's under contract to bring an Italian bakery to the front little office building. We've got a waiting list for people that want to do ice cream, but we love our ice cream shops in town, so we're kind of waiting on that. The bicycle shop that opened downtown, the owners of that building eventually want to do a steakhouse. God love them. I'd love to beat Rudy's for Restaurant of the Year. In our own town, the bike shop will be moving to the trailhead area of the lumberyard project. We have a small little boutique hotel that's signed under contract that's going to come to the grounds, and we're going to get 6 little hotel units that will drive what we don't have in our town, which is a place for people to come and perform at Allen's beautiful 20 Front Street and actually stay in our community. All of that vibrancy is happening, so it's a great town. Tanya, thank you for the reminder that this is about community. It's about understanding that historically we came from somewhere. This building came from somewhere. The rec center came from somewhere. What Teresa's doing to restore infrastructure that's been aging, this town was a vibrant, vibrant community 120 years ago, and we still are. So thanks for that. The last thing, hats. You'll see these at Flower Fair. When we sell hats, it's not because Matt wants to sell a hat. I love hats. I wear them all the time. This is my hat. It's the first little logo we made. Deborah Navarro, one of our illuminators, made our logoing. We're going to sell hats. What is this stuff going to go for? We are engaging with public artists. All the public art that you see come to the lumberyard is going to be locally created. They're making most of it out of old railroad spikes and railroad ties and railroad stuff, because that was a rail yard that brought coal and materials to our town. We've got sons of wonderful friends that are sitting in the audience that are engaged in those projects. If at the Flower Fair you want to support the art aspect of what we're doing and wear some cool merch, then buy a hat. Thanks.
Thank you, Matt. He is one excited guy, I'll tell you. And we're all like just waiting for that barn project to come to fruition. And I also want to give a big shout out to Matt. Yesterday, he really helped me out in a pinch with loading up my car. So thank you, Matt. Thank you for always being there. Next up, we are super excited that our new board member, John Urbanek from General Motors Orion Assembly. He is the new plant executive director, and he's here today to give an update about what's going on. So come on up, John.
Thank you. Great. I'm very pleased to be here today, and thank you to everyone, and congratulations to everyone. I'm honored to be joining the Chamber Board of Directors alongside 4 other esteemed members: Liz Vogel from DTE, Sharon Bosley from Bitter Toms, congratulations Sharon, Dwayne Downenmeyer from Keller Williams, and Gary Newman from Great Lakes Crossing. So congratulations to you all. I'm looking forward to working with you. A little bit about me. I'm actually returning to the Lake Orion Vehicle Assembly Center up the road. I was here during, the beginning of COVID, and left to go work in Arlington Assembly, where General Motors has got a high-volume vehicle assembly manufacturing complex there, where we build our Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukons, Escalades, and all of our company's full-size sport utilities. So I'm very excited to be back at Orion, overseeing the plant's retooling efforts to increase U.S. production of some of GM's most popular products. We are truly blessed to be building pickup trucks and full-size sport utilities for our customers in the near future, and our team just can't wait to get going. So our portfolio will include the Chevy Silverado, GMC Sierra, and our flagship Cadillac Escalade, and we can't wait. A little bit about Orion Assembly. I know there are some newer folks in here, and there's a few, it sounds like, that have been around for a long time. So just a little bit of a refresher here. Orion Assembly has a significant legacy in General Motors history, and we're building on that with new production plans for this facility. Plant opened in 1983. Orion has produced over 20 vehicle nameplates, including some of GM's most iconic products like the Buick LeSabre, Chevy Malibu, Pontiac G6, Cadillac DeVille, and Chevrolet Bolt EV. We are proud to be represented by our UAW Local 5960, who has been us since the beginning. Manufacturing is GM's competitive advantage. Orion Assembly was one of our first facilities to build gas and electric powered vehicles on the same line. Ultimately, GM's first facility to solely produce EVs. Since the Bolt EV production concluded at Orion, we've expanded the facility considerably. That broadened the manufacturing flexibility of our site to meet the needs of our customers. Orion Assembly is now over 8.6 million square feet under roof. And for perspective, that is the size of about 150 football fields. It is enormous and growing. That makes us the right size to build some of the largest and most popular vehicles in our company's portfolio. Last summer, GM announced a $4 billion investment in domestic manufacturing to increase U.S. production of both gas and electric vehicles, which included bringing production of the Escalade, Silverado, and Sierra to Orion, again to meet our strong customer demand. GM has been the full-size SUV leader for 51 years, and literally we cannot build enough. In 2025, GM was America's full-size pickup truck leader for the 6th straight year, and last year combined Chevrolet and GMC Sierra delivered their best combined sales in 20 years. We've got a big job ahead of us. The retooling and launching at this speed in a compressed time frame has never been done before in our company. When production begins next year, Orion will be the GM's largest and most advanced assembly plant in the country. We're looking forward to having 2 shifts at Orion by the end of next year. We recently held 2 skilled trades hiring events, bringing in new talent to our company, and we're continuing to bring General Motors employees from across the state and country back to Orion Assembly to support this launch and production. We'll also be a very, highly automated manufacturing facility. We'll have over 2,500 cobots, they're called, working alongside with our employees, focusing on tasks that help protect the health and safety of our employees and ensure quality and consistency for our customers. From a community impact perspective, we're confident the significant new workforce at Orion Assembly will make a positive impact on the local community and the many businesses that you all represent. Additionally, we're proud of the supplier partnerships that we'll be localizing to the region to support vehicle production at Orion Assembly. For example, Lear recently announced that they will be our seat supplier, and they're moving into a building on Giddings Road. We'll also have 2 what we call value-added assembly sites, and the work is prepared in those facilities as we speak. We've got multiple suppliers locating near us to support our assembly operations that will be involved in kitting, sequencing, and minor subassembly operations. One of these facilities is actually the old Palace of Auburn Hills site. So this equates to hundreds, and in the entire ecosystem, thousands of jobs for our community, and we're proud of that impact. We have an exciting year ahead of us as we prepare these launches for these important products, and we really look forward to welcoming you to Orion Assembly in the future once we get up and ready for prime time. Okay? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. One of the top questions we get asked every week, I would say, is what's happening with the GM Orion Assembly plant, and how many jobs and how many new residents perhaps that's going to bring to this area. But with their growth, just think about the impact that it might have for your business if you're located in the, in Lake Orion or the Auburn Hills, the general area, because that is more customers hopefully in your door. So thank you for that great comprehensive update, John. Next up, we have Chris Barnett, our Orion Township supervisor, and he is going to give an overview of Orion Township. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Everybody stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stretch. Sit down. All right, good morning, and let's give a round of applause to those three presentations. It's incredible. I'm not able to follow them for sure, and thank God that I didn't have to bring my varsity jacket, which still, Oakland Christian, go Lancers, still hangs in my closet at home, but might be able to get this far up my arm. Anyway, awesome presentation, Teresa. We are so blessed with great leaders and we are on a roll here. And I couldn't agree with what the three people before me said. The positivity is amazing. And I think, without telling you about, why is everybody so excited about Chick-fil-A? I mean, that's great, but there's other great things happening too. This morning, I assembled a group of business leaders before this meeting. And at 7:30, we had about 30 business leaders that met in our office and talked about the projects they're bringing to our community, and we had our state representative there. And it is so exciting. So my job is to do a couple things. To keep this place we're living as a vacation, to provide the best service in local government. We hope our team does that for you. If you interact with us, that's our mission, to provide the best service in local government. And then thirdly, to protect and hopefully grow your investment. So what is that? That's your home if you live here, or your business if you have a business here. That's my job. And so that's how I grade myself. I love my job. I'm so blessed to work for you all. You are my bosses. And I hope that we're doing an okay job doing those three things. If you take out your phone and you go to my Facebook page, this is shameless, I'm going to tell you this. The only thing I really care about right now is a post I made. Well, Matt was boring me with his speech 7 minutes ago. I'm kidding. I wouldn't be here if not for Matt Gibb, and he knows that because he's really the person that encouraged me to run 14 years ago. Take a look at that when you get a minute, and then follow that page, by the way, shameless. That's what I'm excited about. I'm a grandpa. Cole is 4 months old in a couple days, and I get to see him next weekend. And he lives in Nashville. And that's, if you take a minute to look, he is riding a horse in Nashville. The picture is actually real. I bought him that hat. But the background, ChatGPT helped me with when I couldn't sleep at 4 a.m. This morning. But I want to say something about this, and something that I'm really excited about, because I'm not going to give you my normal update. We're onto something here with what, through Matt's leadership and the DDA and what's happening downtown. The illuminators. Because every single community is dealing with the same thing. We all have keyboard warriors and negative Nancys, or whatever you want to call them, in our communities. And we are going on the offense here. And we are doing that through our illuminators. So who is an illuminator? Okay, 6 of you raise your hands. Let me ask you again. Who is an illuminator? Who in this room is positive? Who has a positive outlook? Let's try something else. If you believe this, say with me. I am an illuminator. I am an illuminator. That was horrible. Like, actually, don't say it if you don't mean it. I am an illuminator. Okay, that's the takeaway from today. The chamber is rocking and rolling. We can talk about that. You all have the power. You all are seeing the post. I hosted a meeting this Wednesday. I have had the extreme privilege to ascend to some leadership positions on a national level. I don't belong there. I'm telling you I don't belong there, but I've been so blessed. I serve on the board of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I'm not a mayor. And I chair the Small Cities Task Force for America, myself and a mayor from New Jersey. And we had a meeting this week with mayors from across the country. This was virtual, but we met in D.C. Last week. And the meeting was, how do we control the narrative in what's going on in our communities? Because we can't figure it out. And I talked about the illuminators. I talked about the positive people. And so my challenge for you today is a little unique and a little different. But you all are on that one Facebook page probably that I'm not going to say out loud, because then the algorithm will hear it and pick it up even more. But you see the negativity. You've heard just now in the last 30 minutes some amazing things. Don't be afraid to jump in and respond. I've talked to business owners in the past that they're afraid if they get out there and say something in a positive light that maybe they will get attacked as well. I can promise you this chamber is stronger than any other organization I've been a part of. We have each other's backs, we support each other. When we were building Baldwin, and you all in Baldwin were shut down for almost 3 years, it was a chamber that was going door to door, helping those businesses get through that. That's what we do. So don't be afraid to stick up for each other, and stick up for the leaders that have their neck out there, because we are in the crosshairs often. Just a couple other quick things. Protecting and growing your investment. We provide your public safety, police, and fire. That's an important issue for us. We have the safest community in Michigan, our size. Fact. That's not supervisor math. That's a fact. And we hope to keep it that way. That helps protect and grow your investment. So this year, our millages expire. We'll be asking you in August to continue to support your police and fire department. We'll have lots of information on that, but that's something that we're working on. I can't say enough about our great school district. People move here for the lakes and parks and schools, and then they find out what great local government we have. But the schools, and I had lunch with our superintendent Mercer yesterday. We meet regular. It's so important for us to support the great work our school district is doing and the amazing partnerships we have. And you don't have to look far to neighboring communities to see the adversarial relationships that often city councils and township boards have with their school districts, and we don't have that here, and I'm really grateful to be part of that positivity. And then I'll just leave you with two last things. This is two things that we're working on. One, and I'll put some handouts on the table up here, our annual State of the Township is April 30th. It's at Woodside again. Here's some flyers, but our topic this year is Heroes Live Here. And we just started a series called Our Orion on our Facebook, on our township Facebook page. The page I just was leading you to gratuitously was my supervisor page. But you'll see we are highlighting heroes, and that's going to culminate on April 30th. If you have 5 minutes and you don't watch our meetings on the regular, look at our last township board meeting, and I think we'll probably try to make this video. Maria's in the back. She's our comms lead. Say hi, Maria. The Hydra Dragons from Oakview and Walden Middle Schools, they're STEM, they build the robots first, I think, yeah. They presented to our township board the best presentation I've seen in my 13 years. It was funny, it was cute, and they're going to the national championships in Houston on April 29th. So we're gonna highlight on April 30th at the State of the Township some amazing people doing work here. And if you know someone that should be highlighted, please get with me or someone on our team. And then last but not least, it's our 250th anniversary of this great country. And so we're going to be doing some celebrations to share that. And along with our hero theme, we have our Hometown Heroes banner program, which we launched on social media this week. Huge response. I counted last night, 95 Baldwin banner light posts that we put on the Baldwin corridor, and there are 20 on Brown Road. By the way, the ones in front of Culver's, Joe, were turned off last night, so let's take care of that.
Right away.
So we have 115 of these to sell, $100 each. The township is paying for the banners because we already budgeted for that. 100% of the proceeds go to support our memorial. So if you know Hometown Hero, you can sponsor them for $100. I've already had 2 companies that say we want to buy 10, find the heroes. So they will go quick. I just texted Jenny from my team while I was sitting here, and I think we already have about 20 sold. So we are going to put those up between Memorial Day and Veterans Day as a testament. And we're going to do some cool stuff throughout the year to highlight the people, first responders, veterans, people that are currently serving. So if you know them and you want to honor them, I will put these brochures on that table as well. Hopefully that's okay. And thank you so much for all you do. And let's say it one more time. I am an illuminator. Thank you, everyone.
So mark that date for Chris's State of the Township. It's always interesting. I don't know, are you going to be flying around? Are you going to be visiting universes this year? I have to come and see. So mark your calendar. That date also is in our newsletter and on the township website and Chris's Facebook page, etc. So great. So we're almost to the conclusion, 4 minutes left and I will be quick. 2026, we have some signature chamber events. Most of them are, we've had them for a long time, but new this year, we're super excited. With the help of 20 Front Street, we are going to create a new cultural event for the downtown. We've been talking about it, bringing in a lot of artists, a lot of food, a lot of cocktails, and we're super excited. So just think about that new Moonflowers and Music. That name could change, but I'm just putting it in there as a placeholder. It will be a taste for the senses. There will be limited tickets available, so when you see them go on sale, please just purchase them right away. We'll be using a lot of our members, which this is what I'm really excited about. We also have a lot of new members that are in the entertainment industry, whether it's beverage carts, balloon artists, all kinds of really interesting things. So we're able to bring them into this event, and we're working really hard on bringing that new cultural event to downtown. I think it's going to just be smashing success. Networking, education, and resources. As you know, we have lots of things going on all the time. If you're a woman, we have our Orion Women's peer-to-peer, Trades, Builders, and Suppliers peer-to-peer, Health and Wellness peer-to-peer. We have our Chamber Structured Networking groups. We have our Commerce and Connection Breakfast Roundtable, which we have one scheduled for March 30th, featuring Matt Gibb and Teresa Rutt, and that will be held at the United Methodist Church, so take a look for that. That's a small, intimate roundtable breakfast in which they will give updates, and you're able to just ask a lot of questions in a very intimate setting. We just had one over at the Orion Recreation Center with Chris in November. So super great. Bagels and Brew, make sure you mark your calendar. Social networking, evening mixers, always a huge success. And then our leading edge educational workshops, we're looking to bump those up. Thanks to Spring Hill Suites for hosting us. It's a free event. One of the ones we're having this June is in collaboration with Oakland Thrive, as well as the Oxford DDA and the Orion DDA, or Lake Orion DDA. So look for that. So lots of really great things, great opportunities. So, take a look at the calendar, make sure you're opening that news brief. It has all of our chamber news as well as community news. Upcoming events are here, so we ask that you sign up. So if you could sign up, that'd be great. Walk-ins are always welcome, but we prefer just to let our hosts know so that we can set up appropriately. And did I mention Spring Hill Suites gives a free hot breakfast? So thank you for that, one of our hospitality sponsors. And then I wanted to mention these beautiful ladies here at the front desk. Emma Bunting and Holly Murdoch Holly is our newest member of our team. It takes 12 to replace Jillian, but I'm trying. So Emma has been with us as an intern, promoted to a member liaison since last year. She's a third-year student at OU in marketing, and Holly is coming to us from a local business, and many of you know her. She's like a rock star, so she'll be taking over the admin, and then we also have a creative coordinator who wasn't able to make it today. But they have here your membership decals, a chamber directory, and some upcoming events. And just to remind you also about the benefits of chamber membership. So if you haven't already received one, because many of you have, if I see you at events, I'm trying to hand them out, they will give you your packet. And if you could take it, that would save me $3.59 to mail it out to each member. So that, it's a budgetary thing. So if you could help me out with that by picking yours up, that would be great. Otherwise, we'll be popping it in the mail to you. Again, thank you so much to our sponsors. Again, Genesis Credit Union, Tim Hortons, Redwood, our media sponsors, ONTV and Lake Orion Review. And then last but not least, again, another little shameless plug here. If you love what you're seeing at the Chamber, please leave us a Google review. And many thanks to the nearly 40 people that have already given us 5-star reviews. But I'll just put that up there. If you like us, love us, give us a review. Thank you so much and have a wonderful afternoon.